Hello and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you a tutorial on how to cut and sew this stylish Basque Bustier gathered dress. Now, if you haven't yet seen our previous video where we drafted out this pattern, please kindly check it on our channel at Maki's Closet or our previous tutorial. And if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, please kindly hit on the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up. Let's dive right into today's video. So in our previous video, we stopped where we cut out all our pattern and mentioned the interfacing we are going to use. Now to continue from where we stopped, I went ahead to iron my interfacing on my fabric. So on the lining, I ironed the gum stay. On the main fabric, I ironed an stay. Now I'm going to start joining my pattern. I'm going to go ahead to join my lining with 1/2 inch. For the main fabric, I'm going to cut out my wadding. Now I'll be needing the pattern I used to cut out my pattern. Now I'll cut from the under bust, and from here I'll go in and cut out for the side. Now I'll place this and trace out my wadding. Now cutting out my pattern, I'll cut out the under bust, add 1/2 inch here, and at the upper part I'll cut out exactly because I don't like having any bulkiness at the upper part. I'll cut out the neckline, then I'll place this other side and I'll trace it out also. I'll cut out the under bust exactly and the sides, so I'll be adding 1/2 inch at this front part, but at the upper part I cut out exactly. So this is where I added 1/2 inch at the front. Now this is the part where I'll be placing to join up. Now I'll go ahead to open up my pattern and I'll go ahead to place. I'll just go ahead and place each part and then go ahead to make sure that it matches what I have there. Now any excess I will just go ahead and trim out, and I'll now place this at the center. I went ahead to iron my wadding. Now I'll place and I'll be stitching with 1/2 inch and also join the other side with 1/2 inch. Now we are going to go ahead to move over to the back pattern. Now what I'll do is to place it and I'll place the lining on it. So before going ahead to stitch, I'll go ahead to iron an interfacing, which I forgot to iron at the back pattern. I'll iron my stay on the back fabric and I'll place the lining on it. I notched the lower part so that I'll know the part where I'll be turning it from, because my back pattern looks similar, so you can't really differentiate the front, the side and the lower parts. Please notch your pattern so that you not get confused. While I was making this, I actually got confused at the back. Please notching your pattern will kind of show you where you're supposed to place each part. So I notched the lower part so that I'll stitch on the side and at the upper parts of my pattern. After stitching the sides and the upper part, I'm going to notch it. Now this is what I have after I'm done joining the bustier part. So what I'll do is to go ahead to notch this and iron it out very well. So I don't have any source of light here. I'll be doing it off the camera. Now if you watch the cutting video, you watch where I cut this part out. So I went to iron an interfacing on it and I'll place it this way, and I'll stitch with 1/2 inch this way and leave the upper part open. Also repeat it on this other side. So this is what we'll be adding at the front part of the dress. So this is my straps, which I cut out about 2 inches by 14, right? Now we also mentioned how to get your strap in the cutting video. Now after this, I went ahead to notch my pattern round. This was after I was done sewing it. I'll cut out the excess, and after that I'll turn it to the right side. Now after turning it to the right side, this is what I have. I'll also go ahead to repeat this on the other side. Now I'll be running like 1/2 inch here, run another 1/2 inch, and then run another 1/2 inch. So I'm trying to create channels for the boning and eyelets for the back of this dress. Now after I was done ironing the lining out, Now on the neckline of this dress, I will be adding a 0.25 boning. Why am I putting this? This is to avoid the neckline of this dress from slacking, right? You just go ahead and add a boning. So make sure the boning does not get to the upper part. Come down by ½ inch from your neckline, and I'll cross the boning this way, cut it out. So what I'll do is I'll go over to the sewing machine and I'll stitch down the boning, creating a V neckline. So I'll just go ahead to notch the rest of my pattern. So this is the part that will be on top of my bustier, that little design or whatever it is that is on the bust area. So I'm going to notch it. Now I'll turn it to the right side, and I'll also repeat this on the other side of my dress. That is, this is the two things that are on top of the bustier, that blockish like effect. I'm going to go ahead to turn it. Now I'll iron it out also for it to relax. Before going to iron it, I'll chop it out a little to reduce the initial size that I cut. So this is my bustier after I'm done ironing it, and this is what I have. Now what I'll do is to place the strap and the extra design on top. I'll place the design and then place my strap on top. Now when I'm placing the strap, I'll make sure I get my nipple to nipple point and then go out by 1 inch after my nipple to nipple point. But the strap will start ½ inch after the neckline. So after pinning it here, I'll also go ahead to repeat this. Place this starting ½ inch after the V neckline, and then place my strap and I'll stitch. Now after creating that space for my boning, I'll go ahead to pass my boning on the boning channel and cut out. And after passing that also, I'll place on the third space. Like I made ½ inch for boning, ½ inch for eyelet, and ½ inch for boning. So I'll also go ahead to repeat this on the other side, and I'll go ahead to pass my boning through it. So after I was done passing my boning, I made this little cover for the back, and I'll just go ahead to attach it. That part is actually optional. You can just leave yours open. Now after sewing the boning, this is what I have on the neckline. You notice I left like ½ inch before placing the V on the neckline. That ½ inch is to enable me turn my main fabric with the lining. Now I'll go ahead to pin this down. I'll stitch with ½ inch, stitch on the neckline, the armhole and the sides, and repeat this on the other side. Now after I was done attaching the back, I'll bring the front. Now what I'll do is to go ahead to notch. I'll go ahead to notch my pattern, and after notching it, that is the V neckline, notch it very well. The neckline, the sides, notch it to relax very well. So I'll go ahead to turn this to the right side, and I'll also go ahead to iron out my dress so that the bustier area will sit very well. So after ironing, this is what I have. Now I'm going to go ahead to join my front and my back. Now when we are drafting out this dress, what I added for sewing allowance is 1.5 inches. So now I turned my dress with the lining with ½ inch. So that means what I have left is 1 inch. I'll place the side now, and I'm going to go ahead to stitch it with ½ inch on this part, right? While going towards the bust, you can tighten it by going in with ½ inch more. Like if you place this on the bust area, you can sew like 1.5. Coming down, you stitch like 1 inch down, right? Because you're left with 1 inch allowance. So if you just want to tighten your bust area, you just go in a bit with ½ inch. So I'll stitch, and after I was done stitching, this is what I have. Now I'll place my tape to measure my waistline. So the waistline I have here is 24. My actual waistline is 28 inches. And when we snatched our waistline, I took out 2 inches on both sides. So that 2 inches on both sides is 4 inches. So if I minus that 4 inches from 28 inches waistline, what I'll have is 24, which means I'm accurate. Next, I'll bring the lower part of this dress now. So when we were cutting this, we also calculated how to get the lower part. So you can refer back to our drafting tutorial on how to get this part. Now fold the lower part of your fabric into two and notch the center. So how we got this part is that from the full dress length, we minus the half length of the upper part of our dress. So now on the waistline of the lower part of the dress, I'm going to run a gather stitch. Now after running a gather stitch on it, I'll be attaching it to this part. So this is my running or gather stitch. I'll just go ahead to separate it and I'll start dragging to create the gathers on the waistline of the lower part of this dress. And now after gathering it, I'll place it back to the waistline of the dress. Now the notched part, which is the center, I'll take it and I'll pin it on this notched part, on the basque part of the dress, right? The notched part, which is the center, I'll pin it on the basque of this dress. Now after I'm done pinning it, remember my waistline is 28 inches and we took out 2 inches. Now we are going to replace that 2 inches at the side plus extra 1 inch for the zipper allowance, meaning by the side we should have like extra 3 inches here. Now whatever you replace from your waistline, whether it's 2 inches, 1.5 inches on both sides, replace it and add your zipper allowance. Now my zipper allowance is 1 inch plus the 2 inches, having 3 inches. So I'll just leave some fabric and I'll pin. Now that fabric, when I'm sewing it down, I'll make sure that I'll go ahead to top stitch on it to hold down the gathers on that area and make sure that it is 3 inches on the dot, so that by the time I attach my zipper with 1 inch, now the remaining part will be 2 inches and it will make up for the side of the waistline that we took out. Now here also, I'll go ahead to repeat this on the other side. Measure that 2 inches extra we minus from the waistline plus additional 1 inch for our zipper. So after that, I'll go ahead to stitch with half inch joining the waistline. So after joining that, I'll leave about 7 inches, then stitch it down and attach my zipper. So after I was done attaching, this is the final look of the dress. If you have any question, please kindly leave at the comment section. Give this video a thumbs up and also join us in our next video. Thanks.